got some breaking news right now. The Strait of Hormuz has been, of course, been a big sticking point in the negotiations with Iran. So right now in Islamabad, talks are underway. And this is a live look of the strait. Shows how much traffic is being limited as Iran tries to control the critical choke point there. Moments ago, CENTCOM announced that 2 U.S. Navy-guided missile destroyers conducted operations to begin clearing mines in the strait. That is happening right now. For more, let's bring in former
Yes, CENTCOM said US begins clearing mines in the strait. This is something big.
Energy Secretary and former Texas Governor Rick Perry. So I just want to get your initial thoughts on this. That CENTCOM is saying they've sent in 2 Navy destroyers now to set the conditions to clear the mines. What's your observations from that?
Well, this is the type of activity that needs to happen, quietly, thoughtfully, forcefully, imposing, keeping that international waterway over. One of the things that's going on here,
This is very good. They are clearing the mines so the international waterway is open. This is not someone's thing, like not Iran's, not Oman's, not Saudis, Arabs. This is international waterway.
that's really important for everybody to understand is that the Iranians are trying to change the rules of the game, turn this international water into controlled passage, a zone of controlled passage is the wording they're trying to use. And you can bet China's watching this very closely because obviously if, the Strait of Taiwan even makes this more interesting from the standpoint.
Yes, Strait of Taiwan is the most interesting thing. If they block it, China is the obviously one who is going to block it. The world is at the end.
Point of future movement of oil, processing computers, semiconductors, and just overall trade.
It is really big what is happening right
Absolutely,
now.
what's going on there in the Strait of Hormuz is incredibly important. It's kind of a test case, though, for what can go on in these other maritime choke points.
Secretary, we've heard some experts say that they've heard it's in the order of $2 million per vessel that Iran
Yes, yes, $2 million is the fees to pass this passage, to pass this Strait of Hormuz.
wants to toll these oil tankers, which sounds crazy. I asked the president about it last night, and here's what he said about the strait.
Okay, let's listen to the President Donald Trump.
You're not going to let them toll the strait, are you? I mean, it's international.
No, we're not going to let that. It's international water.
It
If
is.
they're doing that, nobody knows if they're doing that. But if they're doing that, we're not going to let that happen.
Okay.
What would we have to do to prevent this from happening? We obviously need help from our NATO allies
Yes,
to
yes.
try to get rid of the mines.
We need help of NATO allies, but they are not just doing it. Okay. Okay.
In the strait and make it functional. But what would we need to do to prevent them from trying to take control of it?
Well, I mean, if you're in Europe and what Europe has done, this is when you get back to the heart of this, Aisha, this is about energy policy. This is the anti-fossil fuel craze that's gone on for the last decade plus really coming to a head here, and people seeing how important it is for American domestic production. We need to be doing everything that we can, tax-wise, regulatory-wise, legal-wise, to get America back to be as independent as we can develop.
Yes, yes. America need to be the biggest country in the world and the strongest, so that no one can, just like Iran did, would be able to do something like that.
Up as much of our resources as we can so that we can support our allies around the world, and we don't get into these situations where you get a choke point like this that's controlled by a relatively small country of Iran from the standpoint of their international impact. But at that particular place, it just goes to show you how important American fossil fuel production, as a matter of fact, all energy production, whether it's nuclear power, coal, any of the dense energy production needs to be increased in the United States.
Yeah, we just have about a minute.
This is what it is. We really need to do that things. Critical choke point is that Iran curbs Hormuz Strait traffic, causing ship backlog and some of our things. Yes, not oil because we have oil in America. The fertilizers and this type of things are all export import from here.
left here, Secretary. I want to pull up this new tweet from the new Ayatollah that we haven't really seen yet. He says, "We will definitely take the management of the Strait of Hormuz to a new phase." And I want to bring that in because you mentioned it.
This is what Ayatollah Mojtaba Khamenei said, the new supreme leader.
Right at the top, China. China's watching this, and we've got this very important, possibly even more important
Taiwan, Strait of
Strait,
Taiwan.
which is the Taiwan Strait. And China could be taking away some big lessons watching what Iran is doing and
Yes,
thinking,
yes,
a
yes.
blockade sounds really good. 30 seconds left here, sir.
Yeah. Well, you hit the nail right on the head. China's watching this. What we do with Iran and how we remove the IRGC, the terrorists that are running Iran, getting a more democratically controlled government in there is going to be very important.
This is geopolitical effect right now. Iran conflict outlook saves China's Taiwan calculus. It
The
is.
president's goal. I pray he's successful. We need to be seeing our NATO allies all in on this instead of this kind of tiptoeing around.
Yes.
They need to get their act together and support not only the United States and Israel, but their own citizens, because that is what this is really all about.
Yeah, the longer this goes on, I think the door opens for potential CCP takeover of the Taiwan Strait.
Yes.
Secretary, great to have you. Great insight.
Thank you, Aisha.
Thank you so much, guys.